Hi everybody, it's Miss Fortenberry again. I created this Matisse-inspired snail after looking at some of Henri Matisse's artwork and reading this book, The Snail Trail. So I want to teach you a little bit about Henri Matisse. He was a French painter, draftsman, sculptor, and printmaker. He was born December 31st, 1869 and died November 3rd, 1954. He's known for his use of vibrant colors, as you can see here. At the time, his work was considered to be wild and unconventional. He had some harsh critics, but he also had many loving followers. Matisse was a leading figure in the modern art movement. Matisse's painting style was known as Fauvism. Many of his paintings are characterized by flat shapes and controlled lines, and he used pointillism. After 1948, Matisse became ill and he could not paint anymore because he had to stay in bed or in a wheelchair. So he started making many works of art known as gouache découpée. These were made by cutting or tearing shapes from paper, which had been painted with gouache, which is a type of paint. He had assistants that helped him because he was bedridden or he just couldn't get out of his wheelchair. But he was the creator 100%. He made all the decisions and all the creations. He just told them where to put things. The snail shows complementary colors, red, green, orange, blue, yellow, mauve, to create a particularly vibrant effect. So the snail is one of his famous piece of artworks, and you can see how it kind of swirls, all the paper swirls kind of in a snail shell pattern. He glued his cut pieces of paper on a canvas to mimic the swirl of the snail shell. Before creating this, Matisse's daughter said that he would sit in his garden holding his snails in the garden, and he would create sketch after sketch of them. And then he ended up going back into his studio and creating this collage of paper that mimicked the snail swirl. Matisse was quoted to say, "I first of all drew the snail from nature holding it. I became aware of an unrolling. I found an image in my mind purified of the shell. Then I took the scissors." So I want to show you how I created my Matisse-inspired snail, and I hope you join me, and after you're done creating your snail, please share it with me. I'd love to see your creation. The very first thing you do is draw the body. I drew a circle for the head and a long skinny body, and then on top of the head I added the two antennas and add little eyes to them and a nice sweet smile because I have a happy snail. And for the shell, this one's important. You want to make it very large. And it's just a big, large swirl connected to the back of the snail. And then go ahead and color your snail, but don't color the shell. Just color the head and the body and the eyes, whatever color you want to color it. If you want to add more to your picture, like maybe something in the sky or flowers or grass, go ahead and do that now, because after we start gluing, it's going to be hard to color when there's wet glue on your paper. So I just collected a bunch of tissue paper and I cut them up into little tiny squares, and I am now gluing my little squares of tissue paper in the swirl pattern. So I'm going in a swirl motion as I'm gluing it. I'm not just sticking them anywhere until the entire shell is filled up. So I used tissue paper, but if you don't have gift wrapping tissue paper, you can use any kind of paper. You just try to go with different colors. If you need to color the paper, that's fine too. So tissue paper I like because I liked the different patterns I could get from it, and I like that you can kind of see through it. But construction paper works just fine. After my snail dried, then I went back over it with a black marker to re-outline that pretty black swirl inside the shell. So I hope you have fun creating this fun little guy here, and don't forget to share. I want to see your creations. I miss all of you, and don't forget, be you, be creative, stay positive, and make art.